from Salon, head of group responsible for Project 2025, threatens violence if people challenge their, quote, revolution. Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, held a SCOTUS decision that gave partial immunity to Trump. Now, I don't think that's exactly what they did. I'm no legal scholar, but they gave partial immunity to anybody who happens to hold the office of the presidency. And obviously, we have the completely fake news media landscape, ABC, NBC, CNN, all that stuff. But then you have these hard, lefty, commie, pinko, rag publications that live in a completely alternate reality, and they don't have to get anywhere near the truth for whatever reason. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot, and it would cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. But we know by now that in the headlines, in the first paragraphs, these people are nonstop liars. So there's a whole bunch of the, influencer class, the Charlemagne the frauds, the Van Lathens, the D.L. Hugleys, who are so Ebro. They're so super scared of Project 2025. Oh my word. Have you read about that? Well, you're not scared of the migrant who's been shooting at cops. You're not scared of the migrants who have been stealing purses and cell phones from women in New York. You're not worried about that. But you're scared of Project 2025. Oh my God. I can't believe this is really happening. So those people, right, the joyless Trump wig wearing Orwell Reed, right, they're really scared of Project 2025. And they want you to believe that Donald Trump wrote it, sat in his office somewhere in Trump Tower and wrote Project 2025 for what he's going to do when he becomes president once again. But it's obviously from a completely different think tank. They're putting it out there and they're hoping that Donald Trump picks it up. So that's the first lie. And Salon is not lying in that sense. The media pundits are lying and they're misleading you, as they say, trying to make you believe that Trump wrote these things, which he did not. And they are now admitting it. But, right? They threaten violence. First of all, they love to use the word threatens. Oh, the threats to democracy, the threats to LGBTQ rights and all that stuff. That's completely fake. Threatening violence if people challenge their revolution. I mean, you can't be serious, right? It hasn't been that long, right? We remember the Summer of Love in 2020 when cities across the country were quite literally burned down in their version of a revolution.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started, and there's a crowd that.
But they just ignore that and now want to scaremonger that this guy wrote Project 2025 he's going to get violent if you don't obey. That's quite literally what you guys have been doing for at least the past 4 years. Arguably much longer, but they say, the president of the Heritage Foundation, the right-wing think tank behind a project to reshape federal government as a tool of conservative causes, issued a warning to opponents that a second American revolution could turn bloody if they resist. I highly doubt that. And I haven't read Project 2025 cover to cover, but I highly doubt it's extreme at all. In fact, I could make the argument that it's probably pretty good, but they want you to don't look into it. We're going to tell you that this guy is threatening violence. Kevin Roberts appeared on the Real America's Voice Network to celebrate a string of Supreme Court rulings that weakened the federal government. Why do they love the federal government sometimes and they hate it other times, right? You absolutely hate cops, but you want nothing more than overbearing government overreach. It's really, really strange, right? And then they enforce the rules they like on other people. Of course, we all remember the forced pharmaceutical craze of, 2021, 2022, even a little bit in 2023. They're doing it again now, right? Like the what's this guy, some UCSF doctor? Oh, you guys should get your vaccination because it could be very scary and there's going to be a summer uptick and it's hot, so people are inside.
We're still seeing COVID in the hospital, believe it or not. Just the lowest point in the pandemic. But the common theme of everyone that I've seen in the last few weeks with serious disease is that they didn't get a single vaccine in the last years.
And it's a rock and a hard place, right? If it's hot, and you go inside, and then you spread Rona. If it's winter, it's cold, you go inside, and you spread Rona. But that aside, okay. Kevin Roberts appeared on Real America's Voice Network to celebrate a string of Supreme Court rulings that weakened the federal government's reach and provided absolute immunity to Donald Trump and potentially other presidents for official acts. Yet it wasn't just, you guys made it all about Donald Trump. It wasn't just about Donald Trump. It was about the presidency, which I'm sure you were ready, willing, and able to admit because you didn't want it to feel like it was all about Donald Trump when you were lobbing cases at him. This is insane. We're in the process of taking this country back, Roberts declared. No one in the audience should be despairing. Oh, yeah, right? So he says this guy from the conservative think tank wants to take the country back. Meanwhile, AOC is in the Bronx screaming, and Jamal Bowman is waving around a stool, and they're talking about, we're going to take this country back. In the Bronx, while they quite literally have complete control over everything, and they're allowing criminals and illegals, but I repeat myself, to run roughshod. Roberts, arguing the need for a vigorous executive, said that the radical left was furious because his side is winning. I don't know who's actually winning, but yes, the radical left, they get very angry. They get very upset at the tiniest little thing. And so I come full circle on this response, and I just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Let me speak about the radical left. You and I have both been parts of faculties and faculty senates and understand that the left has taken over our institutions. The reason that they are apoplectic right now, the reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Yeah, correct. Right? These people want nothing more than to mutilate children, but somehow this statement that they quote him as saying is a threat of violence, while you guys are pulling down statues and screaming in people's faces and demanding that you have the right to eliminate babies. Last weekend, Roberts appeared on MSNBC to defend Project 2025, the plan to stack the federal civil service with Republican loyalists. You mean just regular people? They are manipulating language nonstop. Oh, the loyalists, right? They are loyal to just common sense? Anyways, to Republican loyalists, and enact a litany of policies, including the dissolution of the Department of Education. What have they done? I'm no expert. I'm genuinely asking, have they been great? Or did the teachers union in New York go to bat with Bill de Blasio, and it was literally a corruption race to the bottom, but whatever. Removing guardrails to protect American consumers and privatizing Social Security. But this is all just vague. Removing what guardrails? Of course, I get it. This is a short article, so they're not going to name everything, but this is what they do. They just throw these things out in the ether, expect you to wear it, and then go on to the next thing. He also justified the dismantling of federal abortion rights by repeating Donald Trump's false claim that Democrats want abortion to be legal 3 days after the person's born. Yeah, well, nobody has... we all remember the clip, right, of Governor Ralph Northam, who said, we'll be kept comfortable, and then a decision will be made.
If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
And every time, if camel toe gets asked, they just tiptoe around it. Oh, we're beep boop Roe v. Wade, but you will never answer the question because you run the risk of course, upsetting somebody. because that's all they want to do. These weirdos, they don't want solutions. They don't want to have a discussion. They just want to be angry and scream at somebody. Even if Republicans lose, the party's presidential nominee has himself suggested that a violent attempt at revolution might still occur. Well, I might say, especially if the president, quote unquote, loses. That's far more likely if you think about it. Asked explicitly if he thought there would be political violence if he loses in November, Trump told Time magazine that it always depends on the fairness of an election. Seems about right to me. This is just them fear-mongering a guy who was part of writing Project 2025, while the rest of the weirdo left-wing, Charlemagne the Fraud, Ebro, Van Lathan, D.L. Hughley, all of those people want you to believe that Donald Trump actually wrote Project 2025 when it was the Heritage Project, and the Heritage Foundation, I should say, would be so lucky to have Donald Trump pick up that proposal and implement it after he becomes president once again. But all that aside, they just want you to be very scared, and they put this photo up here because this big, scary, mean white man wants to bring back a tiny bit of sanity.